Hi, welcome to You Can Do Medicine. My name's Tom, and I'm soon to be a second year medical student. At last, I'm able to say that because it's always been first year up until now. And today we're really lucky because we've got Maddy with us, who's also soon to be a second year medical student. And so we're just going to look back at the year. We'd obviously looked at videos looking at people's journeys to medical school, and just going to reflect back on how the year's been and what's ahead. So yeah, Maddy, how did you find the year then?
Overall, I'd say I quite enjoyed first year actually. It definitely was a challenge. Before I came straight from high school, and during high school revision, I really wouldn't do anything. I just look over my notes the day before. That would pretty much be it.
Mm-hmm.
But having to learn so much information and kind of realize that this information just isn't just important for a test, but actually is important to a future career, and like it's something I have to store for long-term memory. That was quite hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, the learning curve is definitely a challenge.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I'd say that my experience, that we were discussing this actually before we started the video, just the amount of information and how to learn it has been my biggest challenge. Actually, over the summer, I'm hoping to speak to like student support to see if they've got, things in place that I can work in over the summer to like get me up to speed with my study techniques, because I feel as though I'm just totally ad hoc with what I'm doing. Yeah. What would you say were the highlights of first year then?
I'd say the highlights were probably just like stepping away from medicine, just being able to look at like so many different like societies and being able to almost find new interests, or just kind of like I guess pursue current interests that I've had, and being able to meet new people from around the world, obviously. And then just from medicine, I'd say anatomy was actually my favorite part of the entire year. I loved anatomy so much. It was so fun to just go into the lab and be able to speak to all these anatomists who know so much information, and yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, you're on the Anatomy Society for next year, aren't you? Yeah, that's cool. I actually tried for the Anatomy Society and didn't get the position. Anyway.
You're so close. I voted for you. I thought you deserved the position, honestly.
Yeah, I was slightly burned by that. Anyway. But yeah, so going ahead then into second year, what would you say that you're taking from this year that you can put forward into that?
I'd say probably two main things. One would be trying to find a better balance between studying. I'd say that during the year, I'd kind of just wait until the exam period got, and then I realized how much information I didn't know, and then I'd cram it all into 2 weeks, doing like crazy hours, like literally 9 in the morning till like 3, 2, and that's just not sustainable at all. And so I realized I kind of need to start at the beginning of the year, just constantly revising just a little bit each day, so not have to cram it all into the last like minute. And then I'd also say balancing like things outside of medicine as well. So joining like more societies, doing more sports that aren't related to medicine. Because even though I was joining societies this year, I've noticed that they're all kind of like academically related, or all like involved in medicine, and none are really like outside of like academics.
Yeah.
So yeah, just try to find a better balance.
Yeah, totally. I remember in Freshers Week, we there was like a sports fair, and there was a walking group.
Oh yeah.
I'd been getting into walking and still am, and I went and spoke to the girls at the desk and was like, so where is it you go? How often do you do it? And the response I got was, well, we meet up in the pub on a Tuesday. And I was like, that's great, but like, what about the walking? And it's like, it's mainly meeting up in the pub on a Tuesday. And it's like, all right, fair enough. But then when you go to like the more academic societies, they're actually more organised and do things.
I've noticed that. I'd say a lot of them do like mostly like conferences and stuff like that. Not a lot of socials I've noticed, but more of like the academic societies, where there's like so many socials for all the others.
Yeah, with my kind of interest in psychiatry, I became a member of the Psychiatry Society, and they didn't do one event this year. So I don't know. I'm kind of in two minds as to whether or not I kind of want to get involved and just do it myself. And does it just need someone to come in and kind of push to get things done?
I think a lot of people tend to join societies that they really don't have the time for, or maybe just don't have the interest for.
Yeah.
And so when you're part of the committee on that society, but you actually don't want to do anything or take the time to plan it, it just kind of, like, nothing happens. I've noticed that for a lot of societies that technically I'm a part of, but haven't met them once, don't know what's going on, so.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about just forming some sort of society or club to see if anyone else is interested in going up Arthur's Seat as often as I am. Because I went up this morning for my 90th time this year.
90th time?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And, I'll probably go up later on today as well, because it's a really nice day. But it's not a numbers thing actually, it's just because it's right on my doorstep and I quite enjoyed it.
Oh.
But I was wondering if other people would be into it. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. So, going into second year then, what is it you're looking forward to with it?
I'd say I'm more looking forward to maybe like the SSC component, because I've heard that is going to be quite like a long process. I think it's the entire year, whereas this year was only one semester. And I think having the entire year, we can actually get more into the project. We can have maybe like more complex research question. I don't know about you, but for my SSC, it was really interesting. It was a really great experience. But the question was, like the research question wasn't that complex, I'd say. And we didn't really have the time to do as many interventions as we wanted to.
Yeah.
So I think just having the entire year, that would probably be better. Maybe we can get something out of it. Like, I know some people are going to conferences or stuff like that.
Yeah. I hear that there are smaller groups as well.
Okay, yeah.
And as we go in, and when we get to like 4th, 5th, 6th year, it'll be individual or just two of us, rather than 10 of us as it was. Because I had a similar experience with my SSC in that it wasn't a very complex question, and the group, for the first 4 weeks, it was like, oh, we're going to do our own research. Ultimately, no one did any research, and we came back and we were still in week 1, and we had to completely change the way we were doing. I had to call in our tutor for like an emergency meeting, like sort of help us, sort of thing. And yeah.
With smaller groups, they'll definitely be better, because then at least you know who's a part of that group that are actually going to be interested in what you're researching. So
yeah,
that'll be more enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't blame anyone in the group for it. I think that I think it was me and then 9 other 18-year-olds, and so you've maybe got other things in your mind other than purely university when you're 18. And yeah, I understand. So, but looking back at first year then, is there anything that you would, without being controversial, like change or anything, any improvements that you would say? Or even anything that maybe people starting the course might want to work on, be aware of?
I'd say this probably isn't an unpopular opinion, but I'd say PBL is really like, you kind of have to make it your own course. You kind of have, like, if you don't have a supportive tutor, which I know a lot of groups didn't, then you're not going to really get anything out of it if you don't, like, take charge, I guess, and kind of steer the course. Like, that happened to me, I think, like, both semesters. It kind of didn't really work out. Like, a lot of people weren't really motivated. So it just wasn't an enjoyable experience, and honestly it was pretty much like a waste of time both semesters. And I think a lot of people, like, we got up a lot of complaints that PBL was just not working out. I think they are going to try to look into that, or starting to look into that, but if they don't make any changes on that, really, like, you have to try to make it worth your time. Like, try to make it more, I guess, suited to what you're learning. Maybe, I know some groups, like, revised during that time, and that actually worked out for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that they could do with PBL is in the first week, we had like pre-recorded lectures to watch on it, and like I think I was one of many who maybe had them on in the background while I was washing my dishes, or just didn't watch them.
Yeah.
And so you went into PBL, and it's like, okay, right, so what do we do? And the tutor's like, well, you just do what was told in the video, and you're like, if I've maybe forgotten what was in the video, could you let me know? And there wasn't much guidance there. And so as you say, I think that either a live lecture so that everyone doesn't have the excuse of not watching it or paying attention, or that in the first week the tutor actually really gets involved and make sure that it works, and then it's like, right, going ahead, it's up to you guys. Certainly for PBL in my first semester, it was a total disaster. Most of the people didn't speak in at all. A number of people didn't volunteer to chair, for example, and their tutor wouldn't force them to do it. Second semester, it was far better. Everyone got involved. It was quite a fun event, and by the end of it, it was like almost one of the highlights of my week. So that was good. But yeah, I think you're totally bang on with the PBL there. Alrighty, well, it's great to have you on, and great to hear your thoughts on the year ahead. And I hope to see you soon.
Thanks.
Cheers. See you guys soon. Bye now.